Hello, Julian. Could you please give an introduction about yourself?
Hey, how are you? I'm Julian, 39 years old, out of the United States. Been in TRW since July of 2023, and never leaving.
Okay, so July 2023, which means in for almost a year and a half now. What has your experience been like, and what actually led to you joining?
The experience has been amazing, right? It's kind of got me to elevate myself within my business, within my standards of living, the circle you have with it, that you have the community I've kind of built now within being in the TRW and getting to that next step, that next level. But before, the thing that got me into TRW, I've always kind of grinded. I'm a little bit older now, 39, almost going on 40. So I've been in working my way up through the corporate ladder for the last, 15 years. And during the pandemic, I saw an opportunity to start my own company, which I did. Started $1 million business within 8 months. Unfortunately, a close friend of mine at the time committed embezzlement and fraud, which led to 3 to 4 years of judicial battles in the United States and in Canada because he was Canadian. So that's all behind me. Went 7-0. That whole thing kind of put me in a bad spot because I isolated myself a little bit. I had never been in that situation. I left my career that I had built up for so long to now focus on my career or my startup, and now the startup was no longer there. Right, so I have no career, I have no startup, and now I'm facing a legal battle, not knowing what that would entail. And then I pretty much had to start all over. I had to go back to the corporate world. I had to go back to finding an investor for my business. I had to go back to starting a business, and I just didn't have like I was doing it all, but it was just going through the motion, kind of like a fighter, right? You're training for a fight, all fight, and you get cracked in the fight, and now your body's just on autopilot, and you're fighting, but you're on autopilot. So it's kind of how I was going. I was just going through my career. I was going through starting my business. I was just going through the motions, but I wasn't doing anything really. And then I joined TRW. For first, to go back a little bit, I started stumbling upon some, when Tate was incarcerated, I got into some Tate videos, and I was like, oh, I was watching PBD, and he was promoting, Tate getting out of incarceration. I was like, I got to look into this, and I started looking at the Tate videos before he got incarcerated and everything that kind of led down. And I was like, 100%, it's Matrix setup. It's the same thing they did to Tupac back in the '90s. And I grew up like in the Bay Area, right? So I grew up in the when it was the crack epidemic and the murder capital, right? So, my father was a gangster growing up. My mother was, a little bit of a troublemaker herself. So, yeah,
Okay, that was quite an introduction.
yes.
So, um, within 8 months, you built $1 million business. So clearly, you have quite the hustler's mentality. Let's call it that. And pretty rough. Many years of going through court proceedings. I can't even imagine like what that's like. I probably something you'll never want to do again. I'm presuming.
Well,
50%.
actually, I learned a lot of lessons. I got a bit wiser. I learned a lot about the legal system. I met a lot of good people, and it did suck, but it's better to happen earlier than happen later. And after that, and listening to Pope, all the top people, all the most wealthiest people, they all have something like that happen to them early in their career, right? So I already made my $1 million mistake. Pope mentally helped me get past that, listening to his courses and his calls. So it's all good. It's part of it. Fuck it.
Cool. So using those lessons, what did you then begin doing? What are you doing now?
So I do several things as I build myself back up. I have a day job. I work, in the corporate world still, but at the same time, I'm building up my own startup. The second go around, and we have several major clients in the Bay Area, Silicon Valley. So we're building that up. You know, it's been about since July of 2023, since joining the campus. About the following month, August, is when I started really picking it up and really building in that monthly revenue. So it's a workplace facilities services company that we service tech companies. We handle all their day-to-day operations, facilities, uh, events, janitorial, those types of things. Right, and we get our foot in the door and we build up our reputation with these folks. And then now the next part is going to be the AI automation.
Was it the mindset, purely the mindset from Pope's lesson, or did you actually implement something else from the content creation and AI campus into your business?
Well, it was the mindset, but it was a lot of his business strategies, right? How to approach the client, how to lead meetings, how to interact with folks, how to not take things personally. It was pretty much a whole, your emotions, how to control your emotions, what arguments to leave. It was pretty much he covers anything and everything that covers, business aspect plus the addition of the AI, right? So over the last couple of years, I've always been interested in AI. So I listen to his courses or his calls. He has calls every day, right? Monday through Sunday. And then now he's bringing in Cam and he has his all-star crew with him. So now, there's capabilities to listen Monday through Sunday. So I'm constantly learning. AI is evolving every single day. So for the last year and a half, I've just been learning while following the basic business practices, waiting for my opportunity to implement the AI, which is, now coming.
Mhm. What do you see for, since you mentioned AI automation, what parts of your business can you see that can be automated?
Getting into these big tech companies, a lot of them, the facilities departments, these big tech companies, they operate internationally, right? And they have a facilities organization within these companies that kind of manages day to day the leases, the snack and beverage, the janitorial, the supplies for the stations where you get pens and paper and things like that. Like every little thing you could think of, there's a facilities department that manages that and handles that behind the scenes, right? So, sorry, getting back to what was the initial question?
For AI automation, how are you going to implement it into your own business?
Yes, yes, yeah. So getting in with these guys, everything's very, very manual. Everything's very time consuming. Everything's very human heavy. So now us being able to get in with the services, I come from being in their shoes. I know how everything, how much everything takes, how much time it takes. So now I'm able to come in with the AI automation, the knowledge, and I have the network. So I'm able to sit down with them and say, hey, here's everything I know is happening. Here's how also I know we can automate and implement and make things more efficient. And then, they're all ears at that point because it just takes educating them and showing them which the CCAI comes into play.
Interesting. Okay. And I do want to circle back to when you said it elevated your standard of living, joining the real world. Could you expand on that?
Yeah, for sure. So I grew up, fighting. I was actually a member of the AK fight team early in my early 20s, way back, about 20 years ago. So it's been a minute, but back in the day, like you have that high stat, like you're training every day, Monday through Sunday, sometimes, right? It depends on who your coaches are. And then, but like as you get into the career and you get a little bit softer and things get, I'm working out 1 or 2 days a week. Sometimes I'm not even working out any days out of the week. And then once you join TRW, it's like a brotherhood within the TRW, right? It's like everyone holds each other to a standard, right? There's the gravity room. You have everyone pushing each other, and then you almost have to like it makes you want to do your day, things Monday through Sunday. So now I'm back to working out Monday through Sunday like I was in my early 20s, right? I have my garage is converted to a boxing studio. I'm in there hitting that bag every day, right? You got to be ready.
Mhm. Okay, very cool. So, in terms of average day, is there anything else to add for how it has changed after having joined the real world compared to what it looked like before?
Yeah, maximizing my time, pretty much maximizing my day, not having any fluff in the day. So when I wake up, it's TRW, right? It's GMs, it's luckily for me, Pope has his daily calls early or his daily lessons early. They're out 3 a.m. for me. So when I'm up, I hit some GMs, I hit some daily Pope lessons. I'm in my work emails. I'm immersed in my day to day. Right, I have to get my day to day job, make sure I'm performing at a high level there. Then I get home. I usually jump into a boxing workout, and then I'm on the grind all night long, working on my business, doing customer relations check-ins, right? And for my existing business, making sure my crew's good, making sure they have all the supplies they need, making sure our customers are happy, right? And I'm not slipping nowhere. And then trying to build up the AI with a little crew. I have a Super G's, Ralph Master, HB Ronaldo, and Baby J.
Mhm. Okay, amazing. And with everything you've implemented from the real world, what would you say that has translated to in terms of income?
In terms of income, six figures. I mean, before I joined TRW, I was kind of just rebounding. I only had my day job. I had my business, but I had $0 in revenue. And over the last year and a half, we've exceeded, we're going on 350,000 in revenue by the end of this month, right? So, and then once we implement AI, and we just landed a second client for 2025. So our revenue is looking really good for 2025. We'll crack the half a million, and then once we start implementing this AI, it's the sky's the limit.
Amazing. Okay. So, do explain a bit more. What plans do you have for short term, medium term, long term for everything you're going to implement and just goals in general?
Short term, midterm, long term, and goals in general. Short term is pretty much be try to be first to market for what we got going. So it's crunch time right now. It's Christmas, New Year's. A lot of people are taking this time off. A lot of people are eating, drinking, fucking around. So we're literally grinding every night. Like after I have the guys, like we're all working on something, right? I took time out to kind of step away to do this, and I'm gonna get right back to it as soon as this call ends because we want to be first to market by the end of the year. There's already been someone who beat us to market, but luckily they're in the healthcare industry, so we just got a lot of work to do. So that's a short term, interim, midterm. That's H1 of 2025. We want at least 5 clients, big name, big bucket name clients, and then long term is 1 to 2 years. Shit, someone may buy us by then, or an investor may hit us up, and we may start doing some acquisitions. Who knows, right? So sky's the limit again. The goal right now is just the super G's. Let's just put in the work and build this up. Represent TRW and Pope. You know what I mean?
Amazing. Okay, so let me see if I can formulate this question properly. Since you have some experience now with building businesses, for people who are starting out, what advice would you have to them? And are there certain metrics that they should pay attention to that you'd say are the most important?
Dang. Understand your skill, your specialty, right? Understand what you can actually offer that's going to provide value, and then from there, how are you going to get your foot in the door? And then once you get your foot in the door, do you need to raise the money? Do you need to find the money on your own? Do you need to find partners? Whatever it may be. But it's like figuring out what you're actually going to do, what your business is going to be, what you're an expert in, or what you can find experts in. You could rally up the troop of experts, and you kind of be that PM, right? That quarterback in it, point man. So it's just always seeing what's available and being adaptable and having that business mindset.
Okay, very cool. Um, so since you said you were making zero revenue before having joined, and you've implemented quite a bit from the real world, as you say, you use it daily. What would you say to people who are thinking for $50 they might get scammed by joining the real world?
That you're a damn fool. No, but no, I was actually just telling my coworker this week. He was bitching to me about how he wanted to stop drinking, and I was like, literally, stop bitching to me about wanting to stop drinking. And I was like, what it cost you for 2 bottles, you can join TRW. And I told him I'll even pay for your first month of TRW, so you can see the impact, the benefit, and then you can not drink 2 bottles and be able to pay for it every month. And I don't want to hear you bitching no more, right?
Mhm.
So it's
Okay,
very impactful. It's very beneficial.
okay, great. Okay, let me see if there's anything else. What plans did you have before having joined the real world? Were they any different? Did it open your perspective to anything new after having joined? That now your life's heading a different trajectory, or maybe you have different plans, or is it still kind of similar?
It's gotten me to definitely work a lot harder. It's gotten me to like I said, make my days more efficient. Curate who I'm around, my surroundings, right? And then even if I don't have someone who brings a value to be around, then I'll be in solitude and working, right? Always working. But that's pretty much what it got me to. I don't waste any time. I've never had really social media, so I've never really fucked with that. But I don't waste any time like on TV. The PM challenges have gotten me out of focusing a lot of my day and listening to music. So I don't focus a lot of, I just have a lot more free time since joining. It's made me realize that I can do a lot more, put in a lot more effort, achieve a lot more. And since then, right, I'm working on things with this AI automation that I never even imagined I'd be working on, right? With the team I never even imagined I'd be working with.
Mhm. Okay, so I think we can wrap up there. So in future we can do a follow up to actually get an update on your progress. But for now, I think that's a pretty good introduction to yourself and what you do. And yeah, it will be cool to document your progress in future. But for anyone who's interested in potentially following you or finding out more about what you do, would you have any kind of links to give, or do you prefer to stay anonymous for now?
I mean, I wouldn't mind, but I literally have no social media. I don't even have a LinkedIn. Shoot, what would it be? I have a boxing match, a charity boxing match coming up in April, so maybe I'll share something on there. But I really don't have anything. Sorry.
Okay, cool. So if that changes at any point in future, we'll add it to the description of video. So if anyone's interested, they can check that. And yeah, Julian, thank you for coming on and sharing your experience with the real world and your story. And I wish you all the best until next time.
Thank you. Appreciate you taking the time and having me on. Look forward to next time.